it's also depressing to me when you say like it's surprising that we haven't gotten more rape threats and more death threats. Not, we haven't
We
gotten
haven't
them.
gotten
Just
zero. We've gotten more than
yeah.
zero. That's for sure. So I just spoke about it, but that idea that I talk about in the song that I got from your video, the idea that if you're lonely and angry, someone telling you that you're not alone and that you're
Mm.
right, that idea is going to be really enticing. Can you speak to that mentality a little bit? And this is covered in your video series, and people should watch it, obviously. But just what are you thinking in regards to that in this moment?
Well, one of the big sort of things that I learned when I was researching actually like more traditional like white supremacist groups like people like Hammerskin Nation or Aryan Nation, things like them, um, is so much of it is about like culture and community. A lot of like it's actually hardcore punk is the entryway for a lot of people,
Oh
like skinhead punk,
no.
like
Oh
oi
no.
music.
Sorry.
I mean, I you clearly are not a skinhead. um, but I can see you on camera right now. You have hair,
That's true.
so
That's true.
but
You
yeah,
heard it
they
here
talk
first,
about
people.
like it's they come in and it's for the community that they come into these spaces, and then it's just, oh, what the price of admission for this community is I should shave my head and talk about the glory of the European race. And at the time that seems very abstract, right? Because it's like, look, I'm just here to mosh.
Yeah.
um, and then that slowly like goes farther and farther because you're in community with, if anyone in your community is pushing it a little farther, then it's kind of like, well, you can either let that person leave the community or the whole community can kind of start going with them. And so you see a lot of these things like, and it's not just, skinhead music, like there's neo folk paganism has got a big foothold with this sort
That
of thing
sounds
as well.
terrible.
And so many of my videos are about like, yeah, and they do it with like the Star Wars fandom, they do it with video games. It's any space where you're like, hey, this feels like my people, and if my people say that these other people are the enemy, well, I'm not going to leave my people over that. And then it's just this slow upping of the ante until your whole community is this way and you don't even strictly speaking realize that you've adopted it as well, just because you're going with the flow of the people who matter most to you. The interesting contradiction there, though, is that a lot of these spaces are also like they're so antisocial. Like the incel community is so about like you go into this space where people are literally telling you, yes, you are alone, you will always be alone, you will die alone, but at least you're with the only people who are honest about it.
Huh.
It's like this kind of anti-community community.
Right. I mean, people really like to feel like they're the underdog. There is some glory in that.
Hmm.
That's really interesting. Um, it's just the wallowing,
Yeah.
wallowing in self pity, like that can feel more comfortable and easier than doing the work to get out of that kind of hole.
Yeah, and, you want to shake them sometimes. Like, just listen to Elliott Smith like a normal person, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.